Making your emails professional. That is what we're going to talk about today. And it's a pretty important topic that doesn't really get a lot of play. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, welcome to the Voiceover Huddle. Happy Thursday to you. It is May 1st. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but it's May 1st. So we do this every single weekday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. Just try to give you a little bite-sized nugget on growing your voiceover business and sustaining your business. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint. If you want to grab one of those, the digital copy as well as the audiobook and 4 free gifts, there's a link in the description for less than $10. You can grab that. And don't forget to chime in on the chat. We're going to do some shout outs here in just a few minutes. And of course, like, subscribe, punch the notification bell in the face so you can get all this stuff as quickly as you can. One last thing before we get into the topic. If you missed Tuesday night's webinar with John Drennan on Fiverr, I cannot recommend that enough. The amount of information he was able to cram into that webinar is insane. Uh, as I said yesterday, I thought I was doing well on Fiverr, and I am doing pretty well on Fiverr, but after seeing his thing, there's some stuff that I still need to do too. I didn't get to it yesterday, but I'm going to today. And yeah, amazing content. So check it out on the link below. The replay is going to be available till Friday at midnight, tomorrow at midnight. So check it out. All right, let's get into today's topic, making your emails professional. So there's 2 ways to do this. Number 1, don't use like a Gmail or a Yahoo or a AOL or any of those kinds of, free services for your email. I'm not gonna say don't because, you can still do the business with those kinds of emails, but it's just not as professional looking. If you can't, the way I look at it is if you can't spend the extra $6, a month or whatever to get a professional email that's tied to your domain name. So like, Mike at MikeHathcote.com instead of Mike's voiceovers at gmail.com or something like that. Attach the email to your domain name. It just has a more professional look to it. Uh, it'll still work if you use Gmail, that's fine. But it definitely looks more professional if you have once you've bought your domain name, if you attach your email to that, it just seems a little bit more professional. When I'm driving down the road and I see it like a work truck drive by, some around here, you see all the pool cleaning companies. Uh, you see one drive by and their thing looks professional. They've got their truck wrapped up and stuff, and it looks cool. But then their email is a Gmail account. I'm like, really, guys? Couldn't you just, like I said, spend the extra few bucks a month and get a real email? Um, Now, like I said, it's not a deal breaker. It's not like you can't use a Gmail. I see plenty of people who do, but it just appears more professional if you use a real domain name for your email. So that's number 1. Number 2 is a biggie. Number 2 is pay attention to formatting, spelling, um, grammar, punctuation, all that kind of stuff in your email. Even your email signature should be professional. Now there's some email services have an issue with, attachment or not attachments, but images in the base of your email, like your signature. So if you don't want to do that, at least put something down there, like your website link and maybe your social media links and stuff like that at the bottom of your email. But I get emails all the time from people who are in the business, who are voice talent, who want to reach out to me for coaching or whatever, and they send me an email, and it's just all lowercase, no punctuation, no formatting or spacing, and it just looks terrible. It looks like, you can't craft a professional email. I'm not gonna call anybody out, but it happens. So, these are such simple things that you can do to make yourself appear more professional. Number 1, use a domain name for your domain name for your email, not Gmail or Yahoo or Bing or any of those other. Well, Bing's not a thing for email, but you know, uh, Microsoft, whatever. Use a professional domain name as your email. And number two, craft your email with purpose. Spelling, grammar, punctuation, uh, formatting, all that kind of stuff. Keep it professional, okay? Easy stuff, but a lot of people overlook it. Cool? There you go. Okay, let's see what's happening in here today. Edward from Jacksonville, Florida is first in today. Ding, 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 ding. And by the way, speaking of Jax, Florida, there is a really cool new skate park there under the bridge somewhere. You've probably seen it if you live there. It's uh, under a highway bridge downtown or somewhere, but it looks really cool. I'd love to go check it out if I ever get down that way. And there's Ron from Grand Haven, Michigan. There's old Mark from Montreal. And there's Sean from Longview. And there's Terry from Fallston, Maryland. Alexis from DFW. And there's Corey from Whitehall, Wisconsin. Good morning to you. There's Nephi from Knoxville, Tennessee. And Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina, representing the Southeast. Hey, Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. Good to see you on here. And another Dennis from Pasadena. And there's Miss Nancy from Yankton, South Dakota, and Callie from Pasco, Washington. And there's Jay from Covington, Georgia. And Jim from Graybill, Indiana. Good afternoon to Doug in Greensboro, North Carolina. Hello, everyone. And there's Nicole from Ottawa, Ontario. And Tim from Altoona. Good morning to you. There's Joy from Southfield, Michigan. And Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. I enjoy your show. I take a lot of notes. Thank you. Appreciate that. I've got to get your book. Thanks for all the information. Much appreciated. My pleasure, Charlie. Thank you for being here, and thank you for picking up the book when you actually do. There's Becky from Michigan. Becky was on our call last night. We had a follow-up call from Amy Weiss's pay-to-play class that she did last month. We had the follow-up Q&A session last night and got a whole lot more clarification and questions answered last night on the follow-up call. So it was good information. That's another one that I've got a little bit of work to do on my own profile because I've not been hyped on pay-to-plays up until her class. And once I watched her class, I was like, all right, I'll get back into it. And it's good stuff, but you got to know what you're doing. So good session last night. Hey, there's Paul from, well, he doesn't say where from, but he just says, hello, everyone. So hello to you, Paul. There's Michael enjoying life from comfy confines of my PVC and moving blanket booth. Ready for what's next. Hey, Paul. I'm sorry. Hey, Michael. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It only matters what it sounds like. I did one a while back. You remember if it sounds good, it is good, or it doesn't have to look good. It just has to sound good. One of those two. Anyway, doesn't matter what it looks like. As long as it sounds good and you've gotten an engineer to sign off on the sound, with all your effects rack and everything like that, it's all that matters. So keep rocking in that blanket booth. There's Jim loving Detroit. And Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. Is there a template out there on the internet? I assume you mean email templates. Well, I'm not talking about just your marketing emails. I'm talking any emails. And I would hesitate to use templates if I were you. Make it personal. Don't just take a template and change a word here and there. Write out, make your own templates. That's what I did. I wrote out a few templates depending on who I was reaching out to for marketing. And I saved those templates on a Word doc so that I don't have to recreate the wheel every time I send an email. I do copy and paste, and then I, personalize it to the person I'm reaching out to. But I'm talking any emails, though, not just marketing. If you're delivering a file to a client any of that. If you're replying to a client, if they are reaching out to you about something, just keep it, take the extra 30 seconds to check spelling and grammar and punctuation and all that kind of stuff. It'll go a long way. James says, can't find link on my mobile. What link are you referring to, James? I don't know what you're talking about. There's Paul from Seymour, Tennessee, right up the street from where I grew up. So, James, let me know what link you're referring to. If you're referring to the link to the book, it is just in the description below, below this video. And then if you're looking for the replay of the Fiverr webinar, it's down there as well. And something I forgot to mention, the Vegas event. It is on. Today is May 1st, and today is when we're starting to promote that event. So there's also a link in the description for that. This is a one-day seminar covering all aspects of voiceover. So if you're new, or if you're not even new, you haven't even started yet, you're just kind of interested in kicking the tires, this is basically a VO 101 course throughout the entire day in Vegas, down in the Arts District. It is a really cool area, and we've also, for day 2, rented out a recording studio, so for people who want to record their professional demos, I'll be directing some of those on day 2 on Sunday. It's May 31st and June 1st, so the end of this month, in Vegas, right down the street from, the Golden Nugget and that, Fremont Street experience thing with the big dome overhang, whatever you wanna call it, the zip lines and all that. So, you'll get all the information you need to get started in voiceover. Now, if you're already doing VO and you just want to come and hang out, you can do that too, but we are limiting the attendance to 50 people because it is a smallish space. So 50 people, lunch included. You can come, learn everything there is to know about voiceover and get ready and ready to launch your career. And also free books for everyone. So we're going to give away all the books that day as well. So if you're interested in even anywhere close to Vegas or even want to travel to Vegas, maybe do a combo trip, do some learning, do some playing in Vegas. Link below. Here's Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio. Okay, James says the replay. Yeah, the replay for Fiverr is down in the description below. It's the very first line item in the description below. So if you're on your phone, I'm not sure how it would work on your phone. You probably have to maybe just wait until after the live feed is over and you can scroll down and click that link. There's Kathleen in Evanston, Wyoming. Spent some time there. I went to Montana and Wyoming back in the mid 90s and went to the Tetons, and we spent a week on a ranch out there. And, I was in my mid 20s at that time, and I didn't see a TV or a telephone for like 7 days. And boy, back then, that was something. But it was fun. It was nice to unplug, and I don't think I could do it these days. As far as dropping your phone and just being completely unplugged for a week, I don't know if I could do it. I like to think I could, but I don't know. Police Commander Z3 from ATL, welcome to you, sir. Or ma'am, I don't know. Could be either one. All right, guys, what else do we have? I've got a little bit of extra time today. If you have any questions about email or whatever, or the Vegas event, or the replay from Tuesday night. Speaking of the replay, Fiverr's been on a tear lately as far as changing things around. And if you're not on top of things on that platform, you could get left behind, especially, what's working now. And that's why we called that webinar, Fiverr for VO pros, what's working now, because what used to work isn't necessarily what's working now. And so John, the mad scientist, figured everything out, and he's one of their pro, I can't remember what they called it. They invited him in to do this pilot program where he gets to kinda learn all this stuff on the backside that a lot of other people don't. So he knows how the algorithm works and what stokes the algorithm and what suppresses the algorithm. So he broke all that down and just it was crazy. So if you missed it, grab it before it's, too late. Oh, let's see, who is that? Nancy says, "Are there any or is there any possibility of the virtual for the Vegas event?" Not on this one, but or at least we haven't talked about that. But if for some reason, if this one goes over well, we're gonna replicate it and do it in other cities around the country. So if this one goes well, that's the plan. And who knows? We may try to do something later. We also may try to film this one so that you can, you know, get it later. You won't be able to attend live, but you can watch the whole thing going out throughout the day. So, but you won't get lunch. Sorry. Um, but yeah, that may be a possibility too. So we can talk about that. But yeah, possible. We'll see. There's Andrew from Latvia. I was waiting on you to pop in. Better late than never. Thank you for showing up. Charlie says, "What's the cost for the Fiverr replay?" I believe it was 197. So, and if you're a member of the Blueprint, you can use your Blueprint coupon code and get about 20 bucks off of that. But yeah, 197, which, remember we talked about return on investment? Just think about how much if you get your Fiverr profile dialed in, just think of how much more you're gonna make based on that 197. So, I mean, that's one job possibly. So, check it out if you can. Andrew says, "When nature calls." Yep, it happens. But like I said, better late than never. Kathleen says, "If it works out, I'm crossing my fingers for Salt Lake. It's the closest, big city to me." Okay. Yeah, we'll these things cost a lot of money to set up because, you have to rent the space and the travel expenses and, lodging and all that. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna figure it out. I don't know where we were gonna go next, maybe somewhere on the East Coast, maybe some like place like New York or Chicago. Well, Chicago's not East Coast, but Chicago, New York, somewhere over on that half of the country. Dennis says, "It would be awesome if you could make it a virtual event in Vegas." Yeah, that's gonna be that would cost a lot more, which means we would have to charge a lot more because there's a lot of infrastructure you have to do to create a virtual event. Um, and if we're gonna do it, we would wanna do it right. We don't wanna have just, an iPhone on a tripod going live. We'd wanna make something that was a little bit more, you know, slick because that's how we do it. We try to keep it pro here. And so, we'll see though. If it starts to build, maybe we'll make more people. This is our kind of our flagship test, on this, and we'll see if it works. There's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Dennis says, "Sorry if you've already mentioned it, but what's the registration fee for the Vegas event?" It is, also 197, I believe. Yeah, 197 for the entire day. Um, Voice over Blueprint members, they can come for free, but, yeah, 197 for the Vegas event for all day, and if you wanna this just occurred to me, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it because I can. If you come to the day 1 to the learning event and you wanna hang around for day 2 and come in and watch the recording session, I have no problem with that. So, we wouldn't charge you extra for that or anything. So, we obviously don't wanna pack the recording studio with a bunch of people, but, if you're curious about how a recording session goes, pop in for the 2nd day and watch that, but I believe it's 197 for the whole day. Andrew says, "Hey, that's only 8 to 10 hours of flight," right? Yeah, maybe a little bit more difficult for you to attend that, Andrew, but, like I said, maybe later we'll do a recording and you can watch it, after the fact. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here, and, Oh, Edward says, if you're ever heading to Jax, give me a shout. Will do. Yeah. I've never been to Jacksonville. I've been to a lot of different places in Florida, but never to Jacksonville. There's another skate park there that is the longest running skate park in the world. It started back in the 70s. It's called Kona Skate Park. And it's stood the test of time. It's been there since the mid 70s. So pretty cool stuff there. But this new one is a city run, public park under this big overpass bridge, which is it's super cool. They've got even skatable, they've got jacks in big letters that you can actually skate on. Pretty neat stuff. Okay, I'm gonna bounce, guys. I will see you back here tomorrow for Q&A Friday. So bring all your questions about any topic, and happy to answer those. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you then. Peace.